Hi everyone, and welcome back to another session of SellerSpeak. And this time we have a really amazing seller with us today, and she's going to be talking about her journey on Amazon. So we are going to be talking about selecting a product, why she chose Amazon, the troubles that she faced, because the whole concept of SellerSpeak is where you learn from real sellers and their struggles. Because learning from your own mistakes is a thing, but learning from others' mistake is smarter. So watch till the end of the video to get all your questions answered, and let's dive into the session. So hi everyone, welcome back. So our seller for today is Dipa Shah. Hi Deepa, how's it going?
Hi Ria, really good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here. It's so fresh to see a woman entrepreneur finally on our channel. I've been craving for one.
It's about time.
So yes, it's about time. Yeah, so I hope everyone's having a really good Christmas, and let me know in the comment section below if your sales have increased. So before we dive into the session, Deepa, I would like to introduce what Deepa does, and she makes cards. And these cards are one of the most beautiful cards I've seen, and they're so unique. So let me just introduce Deepa's business. So Deepa's business is called Cardology, and it's a family brand founded by sisters Deepa and Kripa together with Kripa's husband David. So together they have been creating and bringing to market innovative 3D greeting cards since 2014. So I've seen a lot of greeting cards now, but you've been doing before they were trendy, which is great. So yeah. So most recently they have entered into an exciting partnership with Warner Brothers to bring much-loved characters such as Harry Potter, Batman, and even popular TV shows Friends and The Big Bang Theory to life in 2020. And they have been shortlisted for 3 top industry awards, such as Gift of the Year Award for designing and innovating in creating keepsakes pop-up cards while addressing the huge challenge of eliminating single-use plastic in greeting cards. So let me just get this straight. Your cards are first, eco-friendly, second are customized 3D, and you recently were in partnership with Warner Brothers and big houses, so you have an official agreement and a pass to get your cards to have their logos posted on your cards.
That's correct, yeah. So it was we've been going for about 6 years, but our partnership with Warner Brothers was about 1.5 years in the making, actually. And it was a huge moment for us and a big achievement because we are still quite a small business. And Warner Brothers generally, especially in the card space, they partner with massive, huge brands like Hallmark. You might have heard of Pig in the UK. So they've got some really, really big kind of licensees. So we were absolutely thrilled to have actually been awarded this license. But it's because we were doing something that is so different in the market. Aside from sort of the traditional kind of greeting cards, we focus on doing sort of 3D pop-up cards. I've got one here actually that I can show you. It's a new one that we've just released. It's for Batman. So this is one of our Warner Brothers collaborations. And we do things like this.
Oh, wow.
So they're super cool. And we've done really amazing like little features. So we can pull out a little note card. So you can actually write your message without actually having to write on the card itself. So it's just all of those little things that I guess we've positioned this product as more of a gift than just an ordinary card. And obviously in your introduction, you mentioned about the different industry awards. So we've been really fortunate. We've been nominated, we made the finals actually in 3 different industry awards this year. And a big part of that, a reason that we believe that we have is because we introduced a really amazing, almost revolutionary, but a reusable packaging sleeve. So this actually converts and so it reverses like this. Sorry, it's a little bit, and it actually becomes your envelope. So this is a challenge in the greeting cards industry where a lot of cards are wrapped in single-use plastic, but obviously our cards do require a lot of protection. So actually, when we invented this wraparound sort of reusable sleeve, it's been brilliant because it kind of eliminates single-use plastic and it just ensures a zero waste gifting experience for people.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing and so innovative as well. So I'm understanding that now this is the gifting season. So I'm sure that people are buying your cards more often. So I just want to understand, how is Q4 going for you, Deepa?
it's been a bit of a tricky year, I think, obviously for everyone with COVID, but on the whole, our product, I think, hit a really good space. Obviously, with people in lockdown and at home, not being able to go out, unfortunately, to the shops to buy gifts and things like that, our cards kind of were perfect in a way because they're a card and a gift in one. So rather than just where people might have sent something like just a traditional flat greetings card normally, we found a lot of people were looking for that something a little bit extra special to really show people that they care. And it's the perfect kind of letterbox gift that you can just post, and we introduced things like a handwritten service on our website, so people didn't even have to leave their house. We took care of their message and we posted it out on their behalf. So we've been fortunate in the way that we've been able to kind of pivot our business to respond to the kind of challenges that everyone's facing this year.
So I think it's very important for any business, to adapt to a situation. So if we're talking about cards, I think it was a really smart move from you, to make it customizationable, because customization is something which is trendy on Amazon right now. Everyone wants their product customized, and this is a trend that I'm seeing is picking up pace quickly. So I'm just, wondering how Amazon is going to take care of the customization when the product is on shelf. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but I'm glad you have figured it out, and this is amazing. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was it's a big challenge. I mean, if talking about how we've done this year, I'll just give you a bit of information about our business. So when we started 6 years ago now, we had three kind of ways in which we're selling to the customer. So we were selling direct to the consumer at different events across the country. So in the UK, we have lots of sort of fairs and markets and exhibitions. And we kind of literally for the first few years just traveled, we were literally on the move every weekend, going to different parts of the country, and just to try and promote our products. So that's one way. We built our own website. So all those loyal customers that we're meeting at these fairs year in, year out, we also gave them an option to be able to shop with us when we weren't there, so after we left that event, they were still able to find us throughout the year. And a couple of years ago, we also started selling to small independent businesses as well, up and down the country. So we actually supply small shops, independent shops, with our cards as well, so that they can sell it to their customers.
Wow, no, that's very smart as well. And I'm just thinking of how, you can use one product in so many different ways. So let's say any Amazon seller is selling the product. I think I always advise them to, put like a personalized card in their product while they're sending it away. And again, Cardology can do that as well. So this is really exciting. There's so many things that you can do with cards.
I mean, especially in times like this, because our cards are at the sort of more premium end of the card market. So, majority of our cards we sell between sort of £8 and £12 on average. So that's quite I guess compared to a lot of other cards that people can buy, it's definitely on the premium end. But because they're handmade, and I guess that they are perceived as a gift and a card in one, we are able to kind of command those prices, because we found that people are really willing to spend a little bit more on the people they love the most, for products that are going to like leave a lasting impression. And we truly believe that these cards that we've created are keepsakes. So that's how we've kind of been able to do that. But especially in times like this, where people are looking for something, they're wanting to connect to loved ones that they're not being able to see. We've just been able to offer something, a little bit different. And, we don't just design cards based on occasions. So, obviously we do have birthdays, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day cards, but we try and keep our cards quite non-occasion specific. So we look at people's interests and hobbies. So all of our cards can be kind of used throughout the year as well. So there's always going to be birthdays or celebrations of some kind. And so our cards in a way are a little bit recession proof in that way, where there's always going to be a bit of a need for people that are wanting to send something a little bit different. And yeah, also £10 price point as well. It's still quite an accessible price point where everybody can still kind of afford something that's really beautiful, that is a card and a gift in one.
Yeah, no, I always suggest people, if you're out there looking for a product idea, make sure that your product is non-seasonal so that it sells all year round. And I love your idea of, using packaging as something that you can keep. So this is something that I've noticed, because if your packaging can be used, let's say, as a coaster with your company's name on it, people are going to keep it, use it, and they'll be reminded they'll be reminded looking at it that, oh my God, this company exists. I have purchased with them before, and it's like a free advertising for you, which is a really smart idea.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
But the reason when we did it, it was more of an innovative, that we've obviously faced huge challenges with trying to be environmentally friendly and eliminate single-use plastic. And that is a huge obstacle that, the entire greetings card industry, have been facing. Because you still want to protect the cards, but at the same time, you don't want to be contributing even more to the problems that we face. So with our cards, because they are on the higher price point, they're pop-up cards, we can't have them without any kind of packaging. A lot of sort of retailers have been responding to that by having like naked cards. So they've got no packaging whatsoever. So if you go into big retailers in the UK, a lot of them are just responding by putting the envelope, behind the card itself. We can't do that because our products are 3D. So we know that there's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of people kind of playing with them. So we had to think of a solution where our cards and our products are protected, being that they're quite a premium product. But we also wanted to try and almost get rid of this single-use plastic. So when we just had a bit of an aha moment last year where we thought, hold on, why don't we just convert this packaging and allow the customer to reuse it to become their envelope. So they can literally just reverse it, peel off the sort of stickies, and it becomes a really sturdy envelope that they can then use to on gift. It's been really brilliant, and we've got so much good feedback from our customers as well.
Yeah, and you do save money on the, external packaging. So I think it's a win-win situation from both the ends. Yeah. So I want to talk about your Amazon journey. So now that we're talking about the journey, I just want to go all the way back. So when you were thinking about a product, why did you choose cards?
So our journey, it's a little bit different. So I actually was traveling around Southeast Asia. This was in 2013. And I stumbled upon this style of card making. And I was absolutely amazed by it because in the UK, the greetings card market is huge. It's a very cultural thing as well. For British people, we send a lot of cards, and I'd never seen anything kind of quite like it. And I thought, wow, I haven't seen anything like this in the UK. This will be quite good. So it wasn't meant to actually be a full-blown business. I actually had a career in IT. My sister was an engineer, and she used to work for Jaguar Cars doing that. And my brother used to be a very high director at BT as well, British Telecoms. And we were all at kind of crossroads in our lives and careers where we thought, maybe we just take a break from it and think about our next steps. And while we were kind of waiting, we thought, this could be quite a quick, good side hustle. We'll just import a few in and start selling them. What we did, we did start importing some in, from the ones that we'd seen on our journeys. And we went to sort of different markets and exhibitions to try and show them to the British public. Whilst we did see something in it, we thought, people are really responding to this style of card making. They were amazed. They were like, oh my God, how do these even fold down? We're getting really good feedback. However, we also got a lot of feedback that the designs weren't quite right for the British consumer. So I think very quickly we kind of saw something in this product, and we thought, I think at that point we had a bit of a vision. We knew that we wanted to not just be a reseller of products, we actually wanted to create a brand and actually do our own. And I think at that moment, that's when things really started shifting for us. Obviously with my sister's engineering background, it was a little bit easier for us to kind of find out how to actually design these cards. So that took a bit of time, but we also partnered up with some, quite good manufacturers as well. And it's been a long journey in getting the product to this quality that I showed you before. It hasn't been easy. And when we started 6 years ago, our product products weren't quite like this. So it has been a sort of journey of constantly listening to our customers, improving, and never thinking that the product is fine as it is, always looking at ways to improve it, or looking at different designs that we could bring out. And I think that's why we started actually just getting a lot of media coverage. We started getting a lot of customers because we were actually designing things that we thought the British public would actually like. There's a need for things, and I think that's why we've been quite successful so far. So yeah, we never went back to our old careers, and we've been doing this for 6 years since. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And when you think about, when a person starts Amazon's journey, no matter how good your product is, but if there's no demand for it, it's not going to sell. Such basic things. And yeah, I mean, I'm great that it worked out for you. And, you knew you had a market in mind, and then you were like, this is the market that I'm going to focus. This is my target audience, and let's go for it. And you customize your product in that for that audience, and I think it worked out great for you.
All I wanted to say was what you said there was actually really important, because you can have a product, and as you said, if there's no demand, then as good as that product's going to be, it's not going to sell. And I think when I look back at our journey, I think the thing that we did correct was we didn't go straight into just selling online. We went directly to the customer. We went to markets, we had conversations, and we went back year after year. So we were seeing the same people. And when you develop a good relationship, a lot of customers were asking us about our journey, how they're made, that they're really investing in you as a brand, and they want to know more. And once you kind of have that relationship, you can ask them questions like, what kind of designs would you like to see? And we were just getting all of this information, which is just so invaluable. And sometimes you wouldn't get that if you just started an online brand straight away. We got so much information that allowed us to kind of go back and constantly go back to the drawing board and think, hold on, but this is what customers are asking for. Let's try and do something for them. Another thing that you mentioned obviously was target customer as well. So we went to all kinds of markets, and very quickly we realized which ones were working for us and which ones weren't. And we had a bit of an idea. Obviously, these cards, we priced them a little bit higher than what people are used to buying cards for. So for us, we had a very specific demographic in mind. And what we did is actually go to events where we thought they would be. So it's always looking at your target demographic, thinking, who are they? Where do they shop? What do they read? What kind of publications do they read? Newspapers, magazines? Where do they go and shop? And we kind of really targeted our events based on that. And that's how we've kind of really created a list of about 10 to 12 different events that really work well for us. But then we also targeted our designs based on them as well. So for example, one of them was an incredibly good horse show that is very popular in the UK. And we just looked, we thought, okay, they tick all the boxes in terms of our target demographic. They're affluent, there's certain age group, but we were like, but what are their interests? They like horses, they like, and we kind of, you have to really think about what their lifestyle is, what kind of things that they enjoy doing, and therefore what are the kind of cards that they're going to buy. And I think that doing it that way for us really helped us to develop our portfolio early on, and that just kept on going and getting us more and more and more customers, more media attention, and so we've just kind of gone that way. And then the website obviously came after. So I think about a year after we started, we thought, right, we've got enough product now to actually go online, and that's how it basically started for us.
Wow, that's an extensive market research that you've done there. And the unfortunate thing right now is that COVID has hit us, and people are not able to go in the market themselves and try their products out with their audiences. So what SellerApp has done here is we have come up with a tool called Product Idea Tool. So go check that out if you're looking for product ideas, and it will tell you instantly what market will do well in and other things. And if you want to source that product, check out a new sourcing tool in partnership with Alibaba. So we at SellerApp are always looking to make your Amazon journey a little bit easier, and there you go. Okay, so back to you, Deepa. So now that we have discussed why you chose cards, and I think you've already spoken a little bit about how you went to marketplaces and you started selling online as well. So when you had your website set up for you, so in your beginning years, did you directly choose brick and mortars and online? When did you start choosing Amazon? I just want to understand your transition from brick and mortar to Amazon.
So we've never actually had a brick and mortar. So what we used to do is actually go, you know, as I said, to different markets up and down the country. We used to go to the big events where there'd be huge footfall, and that's how we would kind of, you know, we'd go for a day, and there'd be, you know, some events there'd be 200,000 people, and we'd be able to kind of get our name out there and give out lots of marketing flyers and discount codes to try and get people onto our website. But Amazon actually only started last year, which sounds strange given that, you know, we've only been about 6 years, but we really focused on our website. But yeah, I think towards the end of last year, so we're coming up to our sort of first year anniversary on Amazon. And to be honest with you, really, you know, I was quite skeptical about Amazon right at the beginning. You know, obviously being a small business myself, and we were supplying other small businesses with our product, I had this real sort of reservation about going on Amazon, almost a bit of an ethical dilemma, because, you know, you kind of hear Amazon and you think there's just this huge conglomerate, and you know, it didn't really quite fit with my values, because I want to be championing small business, and there's a real sort of movement in the UK to support local businesses, to support, you know, support the high street and really shop with your small businesses. And I had that kind of perception for a long while, which is kind of why I resisted for a while, because obviously on Amazon sell their own products, obviously you get huge brands that are selling on there. However, I think I started reading up a lot more about it, and more entrepreneurs that I was kind of speaking to, you know, when I go to different events, there's so many other small business owners. A lot of them were making the step to kind of move on to Amazon. So when I started researching a little bit more, I realized actually that 60% of Amazon sales do come from SMEs. And actually, as a shopper, you can be a savvy shopper by doing a little bit of research to ensure that you can still buy things on there, but just make sure that the seller that you're buying it from meets your values, I guess. So we just made the jump, and we started just listing a few products last year. We didn't expect to have the growth that we have here. Actually, we just like literally listing a few products. I think in January this year we probably did £6,000 in revenue, and it is just kind of, when you look at the graph, it's just kind of creeping upwards. So we've been incredibly lucky, but I think, you know, for me, I did have reservations initially, but I think after learning about how many small businesses there are on Amazon that you can still support, I kind of made the jump to go on there.
No, that's very well said, because when I talk to a lot of sellers as well, and when I ask and tell them, you know, why don't you sell on Amazon? You'll have more reach that way, and you have access to so many marketplaces. Their only concern is, but I want to support small businesses. And I think this is an ethical dilemma a lot of people have, especially in India as well. I mean, UK and India are, you know, going side by side in that ethical dilemma. But they also forget that a lot of small businesses are not getting enough foot traffic because of COVID now. So Amazon is going to help you, you know, get your product out there. And yes, I mean, there are a lot of sellers, if they don't get a lot of help, their account gets suspended. And because of COVID, Amazon is working slowly. But if you are doing everything right and are not following any black hat techniques, I think you're going to be good to go. And if you are a seller planning to sell on Amazon, we have so many tools that can help you. So if you want to understand how many sales your product is going to make, check out our sales estimator. I mean, we have everything that you need to start your Amazon business. So go check that out. So Deepa, I have a question for you. When you started selling on Amazon, was it FBA, FBM, and how did you decide that you're going to go either way? Because I understand that your cards are custom made. So how does FBA and FBM work for you?
So at the moment, we don't customize our product on Amazon. We only do it on our own website. However, when I first started listing a few products, I didn't really know about all the tools that are available in Amazon. I mean, when you first become a seller, there is just so much information out there. It's actually quite intimidating. I don't find the back-end platform that user-friendly. So for me, I just listed a few products and I was just shipping them out myself. Now, I'm a very geeky person, so I'm constantly reading forums and blogs, and I was like, how do we improve? And I think some blogs from SellerApp actually came up and gave me a few tips as well, which is good. So we were selling on MFN actually, but I read this statistic and it was a huge percentage of people have Prime accounts, a lot of Amazon's customers. And I was just, it kind of got me thinking. I thought, well, actually, even some of my family members who shop on Amazon, the first thing they do is swipe to Prime, so that was my next thing. How do I get my products to have the Prime badge? And then I learned about FBA, and it's very daunting. But then I started slowly putting some products, and I totally saw the difference in that. We started shifting so many more units per day just because it was on Prime. People could get it next day. And actually, this kind of goes back to the question that you asked me before about, when we were talking about why I was resistant. With Amazon, I've just noticed that it gives small businesses a huge opportunity, actually, one, to just get online, because sometimes developing your own website is quite costly, and the development of it and the ongoing costs of running it. And so this gives you a really quick way to kind of get online, but it's also the logistics. For me, being able to kind of just send some product and the logistics are taken care of, the pick and pack, the customer service, it allows me to just get on with my business and growing it, and not really have the headache of having to grow too quickly. I was able just to send product and they take care of the rest. So it's I definitely saw a massive difference. People are able to get their products next day, and all the customer service is taken care of. And so, it was just brilliant. And that's why I kind of made the move to FBA.
Yeah, and another reason why you should switch to FBA is because Amazon tends to push products which are Prime. So if you are not Prime, your Amazon is not going to show your product organically on top. So having Prime is obviously going to come as an advantage to you. So when you started selling on Amazon, what are the first challenges that you faced? Because you were not outsourcing anything then. So what are the first challenges that you faced? How did you overcome them? And how exactly did you scale your business from, let's say, your first month to 1 year?
Yeah. So I think the main challenges for me were the platform itself. I didn't find very user-friendly. There's just so many tools available to you as a seller, but I just find it really difficult to find it. And also, I don't find the support that amazing on Amazon for sellers. So I found that a huge challenge for me, because I was so scared of making a mistake. When I was sending my first shipment into the fulfillment centers, I was so nervous. I thought it's just going to go into the ether and it's going to get lost. And if it goes wrong, or if I haven't done everything properly, where's my product going to go? But I did realize very quickly that there are a lot of sort of training programs on Amazon. There's forums, and you can, obviously, they do have the help section as well, so you can kind of email your questions if you are still struggling. So I found that a bit of a challenge for me, and just knowing about all the different programs and how to enroll products. So a lot of it for me was just kind of doing my research. As I said, I'm a bit geeky, so I was constantly reading training materials on Amazon. I was reading blogs, I was reading forums of how people are kind of doing this. I did my first shipment to FBA and I saw a massive shift in the number of units that I was selling. But they also have other programs. So I didn't realize this, but they also have a program called the Small and Light program. So for me, selling cards, it was perfect. I think the criteria to enroll any listings on that program is that your product has to have a sales RRP of less than £9 and certain dimensions. And obviously, being cards, we've kind of fit into that bracket. And all it means is that they send it out for you Prime, so you still get the Prime badge, but actually your FBA fees are a fraction of what you would pay if they were on just regular FBA. And it actually works out cheaper for me to sell my product that way. I think at the moment, I'm sure it's going to go up soon, but at the moment, the fees, for example, just to give you an idea, the fulfillment fee for me to sell some cards on there is 61p, Whereas if I was to send that product out myself, for me to purchase a first class stamp in the UK, that at the moment it's 76p. Plus you have to think about, you have to think about the envelope that you're going to send it in. You've got to think about your staff that you're going to be paying to do that. So that really helped me scale as well, because actually I'm saving money by doing FBA. I don't have any of the headaches and it's more cost effective for me. So they have a few programs like that. And I think FBA has been the real driver of it, actually, because as you said, Amazon pushes that product and it kind of goes hand in hand. So the more products you sell, the more relevant your product becomes and your organic rankings go higher. So every month on month, I've been seeing huge growth in not just my PPC sales, but also my organic growth, which is great because that's obviously where I'm making the most money. So that's been good. But also Amazon have different programs, like they have the Pan EU program as well, which means that as a seller in the UK, I have access to the whole of Europe. I mean, just think about how many millions and millions of people that is. So it, for me, that was really good because the program meant that I could sell to any person in the European Union, but I only had to send my shipment to a UK fulfillment center. So in terms of costs and shipping costs, it's so cost effective. I could send it to one place and they take care of the rest. If I get a sale in Germany, they would transfer the stock over for me for no extra cost. So I believe that Amazon do have a few programs where they make it a lot easier for you to scale, not just in your own marketplace, but across other markets as well. And that's really how we've kind of been doing and slowly going that way.
Yeah, and are you planning to sell on US as well, since you're scaling your business? I think once you're done with the whole European marketplace, your next move should be like, let's explore Asia, let's explore the Americas. So how does that work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't obviously thought about doing that yet, but it's definitely on the cards in the near future. I think, obviously, with everything that's going on with Brexit at the moment, a big thing for me, I've kind of put my European expansions just on hold, just for a little while, just to understand what's going to happen and what the situation is going to look like. Because, from from the 1st of January, as I understand it, I won't be able to just send product to the UK fulfillment center. I'll have to send product to Europe as well. So the situation's very fluid. So I've kind of put my expansion plans on hold just for a few months, but we will be revisiting it in the new year. But yeah, definitely. I mean, Amazon, because they've got all these marketplaces, it's just an easier way for you to expand. And, it's not like just setting up a website in that country. You're able to kind of launch a product and a brand to millions of people straight away. So when we are ready for that time, I mean, I think doing it via Amazon will be the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I also suggest people who are trying to expand their business into other marketplaces try A/B testing, because a product that might work in UK might not work in US because the audiences are so different. So try with A/B testing, try how it works out, and then maybe you can customize your product to fit that particular audience. All right, so Deepa, I really loved when you spoke about organic ranking. So understanding your situation right now, when and what made you outsource your advertising services?
So I think I started advertising in maybe May. Oh no, maybe a little bit before that, maybe like April or something like that. Only this year. So it's been with newbies to it really. But I again was doing a lot of research on advertising. So I think what I did initially was just I set up an automatic campaign. And I was doing a lot of research on how to set up campaigns properly as well, because, obviously now speaking with the SellerApp team, there's when they take on new clients and things like that, they said to me that, sometimes the campaigns aren't structured in the right way. And so it takes a lot of work to kind of even set them up in the right way. So I was doing a lot of research about that. So what I did is we've got over 100 different products. Now I know that they're all cards, but each card is going to have a different occasion, or it's going to have different keywords that people are searching to find that particular card. So I set them up as all single ad groups in my campaigns, which means that I'd have all of the different search results information. I could look at one particular product and see, why is that converting? What are people searching to, find that product. So I started just doing that myself, setting up a couple of manual campaigns. But for me, Ria, like, you know, I'm running a business. It's so difficult. And I think to find the time to do this, and advertising is one of those things that you've got to be doing it daily. Otherwise you can just lose so much money. And initially I was trying to kind of keep up with it and do it quite regularly. You know, I was constantly looking at keywords and moving them from my automatic campaign to my manual campaign. I was trying to do it all myself, but you know, I added more and more and more products and it just became unmanageable for me to do this. And what I realized is that I was probably wasting a lot of money because I wasn't acting fast enough. So you know, when I had a certain budget in a month, and my wasted spend on those campaigns were quite high. And very quickly I thought, I need to get some help in this area. I know what I need to do, but I just need some groundwork to kind of help me get there. So that's when I decided, I think May, I thought, right, it's time now to actually look at agencies that I can hire to maybe help me with my advertising on Amazon. And that's obviously where I came across SellerApp. But it's really helped me because you know, I can now dive in on a weekly call, and it's a really productive call because obviously I know what's going on in the campaigns. I set them up, a lot of them myself. I've done the research prior to starting advertising, and I think that's really important for anyone thinking about advertising, that you have to have a bit of an understanding about what you're doing. You have to know your product as well. So one of the big things that I did before I even thought about outsourcing my advertising is I had this big spreadsheet of all of my different products. I had, you know, all of the different costs involved, you know, down to like every little thing. So I knew my exact profit margin, which is obviously your break-even ACOS. So for me, knowing, okay, having that idea, that figure in mind, that is when we start advertising, we should at least be hitting that figure or less, obviously less to make money, but at a minimum, we should be at least hitting that ACOS so that it's break even. I'm not losing money. So I think that anyone starting on their journey, you have to do a little bit of your own research. You have to be quite prepared. You have to know your own data of your own products and everything. Otherwise advertising is one of those things you can lose money quite quickly. So, you know, I think I signed with SellerApp in May. And I think we started with I think they listed, how many was it? 30 ASINs the guys were actually managing for me. And just last month, we've now upgraded the service. So now they are managing my entire Amazon account. So I've got, I think, over now 120 different ASINs on my account. And if I was trying to do that myself, Ria, like it just wouldn't have worked. You know? I would have probably spent a day doing one ASIN and I've got another 99 to do, and I would have just lost money. So I think it is really important when you start advertising that you do have, either you're on top of it yourself daily or you do actually get some help with it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, sellers don't realize the sweet spot when they have to change. So when you scale too fast, you know, because you have been handling your PPC campaigns before, but they were not as extensive because you're just starting out your business. But once you start scaling is when the problem occurs because you don't have the time. And advertising is something, if not done right, you can lose a lot of amount of money. So yes, you need to understand when you need to switch, and I'm glad you made that change. And one more thing that I've seen people do wrong is they ignore negative keywords when they just start their advertising campaign, because they're like, we don't need this, there's already so much happening. Negative keywords is something that's in your backend, so you don't need it, but negative keywords are so important. So if there's someone watching out there who has completely ignored negative keywords, get back right into it. They're so important for your business. Yeah.
I mean, it's been really good for us because every, I think, weekly or fortnightly, sometimes I have a really good call with the guys, and it's so productive because we know, and I think the way that we've set up the campaigns is good as well. So we can look at it on a very high top level, like, okay, what's our ACOS roughly? If it's, I know what my profit margin is, or my break even, my average break even across all my products. If we're going above that, then I know that, okay, there's something going on. We're losing money. It's costing me more to advertise than I'm actually making on that product. And we're able to delve deeper, look into the campaigns, look at the different ad groups and see what's working, what might be just going really horribly wrong that is actually skewing the results, and then we can delve deeper into that particular one and I have a really good conversation about it. We quickly talk about, okay, have we tried certain new keywords, or do we pause the campaign? There's so many different things that we talk about in terms of a strategy, and it's great because literally we'll speak about it the next day, something's happened, or the changes are made on my account. So I think the whole thing is about trying to, I guess, reduce wasted spend, make sure that every pound that you're spending on your advertising is you are making sales and you're making money from it, because otherwise you can, as you said, lose so much if you're not on top of it.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to Q4, there's a lot of extra spend that you have to, put in for your advertisements to run. So Q1 is all about saving up now. So all the wasted spend in Q4 is when we, make sure that we are saving, and then we only run campaigns on the days which is absolutely necessary, and we have seen sales happening at that time, which is called day parting, which not many people know about. So do look up day parting if you want to understand how you can save up on your money in Q1 and run your advertising campaigns effectively. So before we end this session, Dipa, I think one last question for everyone out there. So what are your goals for 2021? Let me know in the comment section below. So what are your goals for 2021? What all you want to achieve in your business? And let me know in the comment section below. And Dipa, what are your goals for 2021?
So we've got a few different goals. So obviously Amazon is a huge part of that. We've seen huge growth. So really trying to expand our Amazon, I guess, presence to try and expand into new markets. That is going to be a huge one. In terms of product, we're after Warner Brothers, we've kind of decided that, trying to kind of form partnerships with other licensors is a good thing to possibly do. So we are in sort of conversations with a few of them. So hopefully we'll be doing some other amazing products for different brands and franchises out there. But that's pretty much it, really. I think it's just always, for us, it's about what's the next trend with the product, how can we improve it, and looking at other products that complement what we've currently got as well. So a huge amount of product development that's going to be going on in the first sort of half of next year. Yeah, I mean, Amazon's going to be a huge part of that to kind of push that kind of growth for us.
That sounds amazing, and I'm so excited to see Cardology grow as well. So one last thing, if you all have not realized yet, Dipa Shah is actually one of our sellers, one of our clients with SellerApp. So Dipa, how has SellerApp helped you? What do you like about SellerApp, and would you suggest SellerApp to other people who are watching right now?
Yeah, Ria, definitely. I wouldn't have been able to do this journey on my own. We've been speaking about how difficult it is to manage these kind of things on your own, especially if you're a busy, entrepreneur by yourself. So, I mean, working with SellerApp has been great. What I particularly like is that I feel that it's a real partnership. It's a real collaborative call that we have. I really feel that we're part of a team when we have those fortnightly discussions. It's not just, getting reports thrown at me and saying these are your stats for the week. That's kind of not what I wanted in a partnership either. I'm very much into the detail as well myself. So when we have these conversations, I have a lot of questions that I want to ask, and it's a real good conversation. We talk about different strategies, what's working, what's not working, how do we reduce our wasted spend. Another big thing is how do I make my organic sales a higher percentage of my overall sales. So we're always thinking about different ideas and what we can do, and I found that really, really helpful, actually. And especially once we've kind of decided on what strategies we're going to try, it's implemented so quickly, and then by the time we next speak, we're looking at results of whether what we suggested the previous call is actually worked or not. So I would definitely recommend this service for anyone that is looking for a bit of help, in almost having a team environment, really, to kind of really, to sort out this advertising. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you guys.
That was so sweet. Thank you. So you heard it from Deepa. So do check out our services with just $199 a month, and you can see the change for yourself. And we do offer a 7-day free trial as well, so you can do that as well. So thanks, Deepa. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much to all of you who are listening right now and who's helped our channel grow so much. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and I will see you next week.